Dan here again. This is the ENFP reboot, and I am still in the park in the same shirt as yesterday when I promised you that I would film another video on how to make your word mean something. And this is an extremely important topic because when our word becomes powerful, when the things we say we will do, we follow through on, we stay committed, life is good, discipline is easy, things get done. Our confidence goes up. We feel great about ourselves. People trust us more. And when our word becomes meaningless, when we say something and even we know we're not going to do it, then life not so good. And I've been on all sides of this equation. So I've experienced the time in life when I would say things all the time I would do and just not really follow through. Maybe not realize I was lying and ultimately lying, I would say, but I've also had the times when my word was my bond. I was so disciplined with following through. And now I think I'm somewhere in the middle. But I think we're at about day 20 of the ENFP reboot here. So I guess my word means a little bit something. And I want to tell you how I have been able to build and rebuild my word to actually mean something. The first thing is baby steps and really valuing when you actually use your word. So, what I mean by that is if you're, now I'm sitting down, this is better. If you are not sure if you're going to do something, don't promise you're going to do it, right? So, don't overcommit to things that you maybe aren't going to be able to do or are unlikely to be able to do. You're much better off to commit to a very small number of things and follow through. And then you build trust with yourself and with other people, right? This is a much better way to approach things. ENFPs, this can be tough for us to do because we often want to do everything and we promise people too much, and we get in this pattern sometimes where people don't trust us and we don't trust ourselves because we are overcommitting. And another thing we can do is we can think out loud and people take that as a commitment. So essentially, learning to be very precise with your words and only commit to things that you really want to do. And in other cases, tell people that it's something you're going to try to do or you'll think about doing, or just no, I don't want to do that is always a good answer. Or just tell people, hey, I'm thinking out loud about this. This isn't something I'm committing to. This isn't something I want to do. This is just something that I am brainstorming and, it might be cool to do, right? Maybe you're discussing a trip with a friend. You're saying, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we went to Tokyo? Make sure they know you're not committing to going to Tokyo until you say you are committing to go to Tokyo. So be precise, learn to manage your word and not commit to things that you aren't sure of. This is a technique you need to learn because you don't want to get in the habit of telling everyone you'll think about it and overwhelm yourself with decisions to think about. And the word try also isn't a great word to use too much, where you say, I'll try to do it. It is much better to do the Yoda and do or do not to avoid the try, right? So some other things that you could perhaps use with it is like, that's something I would like to do, but I'm not sure if I will be able to, so assume that I cannot do that. But if something changes or I'm able to do it, I will let you know. Or if you're talking to someone about getting a project done and you think you can do it by Tuesday, tell them Friday and then surprise them by doing it Tuesday, earlier, the earlier Tuesday than the Friday. So this is the first thing. You have to start rebuilding your word. It doesn't matter if you've destroyed it in the past. Start using it more precisely, using your language more precisely, and the things you actually commit to. Then once you've done this, there are lots of tools you can use. Public accountability is a great one. Accountability to friends, family, colleagues is a great one. Momentum is another thing. So it's a lot harder to quit the ENFP reboot on day 20 than it is on day 3. Once you've got a lot of momentum on something, it's really easy to keep going, and it's a lot more painful to quit it. So summarize this, if you will. Step 1 is rebuild your word so it is precise and powerful for both you and those around you. This takes some time, baby steps, but you'll get there. Step 2 is use other people and perhaps even public accountability to help you along the way. But for many people, you might just need 1 or 2 people in your life to commit to. And make sure for those people, by the way, that you're committing to people that are really going to hold you accountable. For example, I would really avoid, say, INFPs for this. And other types, maybe even other ENFPs, people who are going to be too empathetic, too nice, too lenient on you. I would really make these commitments to the hard asses in your life, the people who are going to be disappointed if you don't follow through and are also going to remember and hold you to account. And then number 3 is build momentum with it. And so as you gain momentum by making your word mean something, by following through, by gaining more and more of that accountability that makes you stick to it, then you'll gain more momentum and you can make more and more commitments. So, what I mean by this basically is avoid missing a single day, right? So if you say, hey, I'm going to do this every day, as much as you can stick to that, it's going to get more and more powerful every day and harder to fall off it. So there we go. I hope this helps you rebuild or continue to build the power of your word. It is one of the most powerful things you can do and one of the easiest ways to improve as an ENFP and then to make big changes in your life. Because if you get to the point where you can direct your mind to the things you want to commit to them, and then stick to your commitments, you can imagine how much easier life gets, and as well as how much more satisfying and fulfilling it gets. And of course, the amount of confidence you gain from that is near limitless. See you tomorrow for the next day of the ENFP Reboot.